2022 Toyota Tundra. What do you need to know about Toyota's all-new full-size pickup truck before buying one? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. So Toyota invited me to a first look pre-production launch event for the all-new 2022 Tundra, which has been completely redesigned from head to toe. There is nothing that's carried over from the previous generation truck. It's an all-new platform, parts, drivetrains, completely new, which in some ways is both a good and bad thing. The previous generation Tundra was famous, even legendary in fact, for its reputation for amazing build quality, durability, and reliability. That's arguably one of the main things that people bought Tundras for. They're known to last an incredibly long time without going wrong, and they are very inexpensive trucks to run and repair when compared to most of the domestic trucks because of that amazing reliability. And it keeps bringing people back to the trucks, and it also helps maintain very high resale value, another thing that Toyota trucks are famous for. So how much of that is still true with this all-new Tundra, which, like I said, is completely new in terms of its tech? Well, make sure to stick around to the end of the video because that's what we're going to find out. So as mentioned, the Tundra rides on a completely new platform. This is the Toyota TNGA platform, similar platform used on many other Toyota models, and this is a very good thing when it comes to a driving point of view. Most of the Toyota's trucks and cars that run on this platform have excellent handling performance, and that's probably going to be the case with this new Tundra as well. Although I don't have a chance to fully test drive this truck quite yet, I am going to do a full walk around tour and tell you everything there is to know about the outside, inside, drivetrains, that sort of thing. So let's get into a full tour, starting with the drivetrains, which is something that everybody has been wondering about. So the new Tundra is going to use two drivetrains. The base drivetrain consists of an all-new twin-turbo V6 engine that comes matched with a 10-speed automatic transmission, also new. Now this engine produces 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. This is basically going to be your direct replacement for the old school 5.7 V8, which came in the previous generation Tundra. Now, some people are obviously not going to be a huge fan of the fact that this is a twin-turbo engine as opposed to a simple old school naturally aspirated V8 like you got with the old Tundra. That's the downside. The positive side is that this new engine has more performance, more torque. It's going to make this a more powerful, faster truck, and it's also going to provide much better fuel economy, which is something that the previous V8 Tundra was awful for. The fuel economy was not very good on the Tundra for the longest time, probably one of its biggest faults. But on the plus side, you are getting much more modern technology. Will it be as reliable as the old V8? It's very hard to say. Toyota assures us that the new Tundra follows Toyota's philosophy for durability, quality, and reliability. Those are all things that have been prioritized when developing this truck. Everything is heavy duty, really strong parts. Everything has been very torture tested to make sure that it's going to be able to hold up over time and you're not going to have issues. So that's something that Toyota is assuring us of. I guess it remains to be seen over time, but I happen to be inclined to believe them because Toyota does have that incredible reputation for the reliability of its vehicles. So that's the base twin-turbo V6. Now the optional engine, which Toyota is calling the iForce V6, this is a twin-turbo V6 matched with a hybrid electric system. Now it's not the same hybrid system that you're going to find in other Toyota models. This is a little bit different. It's what Toyota calls a parallel hybrid system, which means that the engine and electric motor are pretty much always running in parallel at the same time. So the electric motor is sandwiched between the engine and the 10-speed automatic transmission, and then you have a large battery pack that's located underneath the rear floors. The exact details of the hybrid system have not been released, and we still don't know the exact fuel economy figures quite yet. But the one thing that is for sure is that Toyota is positioning this drivetrain as a more premium, high-performance option. It's designed to give you better performance when compared to the base twin-turbo V6. It produces 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. A lot more power than you get with the base twin-turbo V6 engine, and pretty much on par with something like a Ford F-150 hybrid, which has similar power figures, again from a twin-turbo V6 hybrid system. So lots of performance, lots of capability. It's going to be a faster, more powerful truck, and like I said, that's exactly what Toyota is positioning the hybrid as. This is a performance option option as opposed to a more efficiency, fuel economy, money-saving option. That wasn't the goal for this hybrid, which is a little bit unusual for a Toyota, which typically centers its hybrids around efficiency, saving money, more environmentally friendly. That's not quite the case when it comes to the iForce hybrid V6 in the Tundra, which is a little bit interesting. Now, in terms of capability, depending on which engine you go with and which configuration you go with, these drivetrains are capable of towing up to around 12,000 pounds, which is a lot. That's pretty much on par with a lot of domestic pickup trucks. And you also get a payload capacity of 1,950 pounds. Again, very competitive, class leading in some areas, so that's a very good thing. And you also have a lot of configurability when it comes to the different body styles. So you can get a Tundra in either a Crew Max or a double cab configuration. The Crew Max, of course, being the 4 full-size doors, which is what most buyers are probably going to be looking for. And you also have 3 different bed configurations as well. You can get a 5.5-foot bed, a 6.5-foot bed. Both of those are available on the larger crew cab. And there's also an 8.1-foot bed, which only comes on the double cab configuration. So lots of different configurations, similar to your Ford, GM, and Ram pickup trucks, which is a really good thing, depending on what you're looking for and how much space or capability that you need. Now, in terms of the rear bed, you don't get any side steps or steps to get into the bed like you do on some of the domestic trucks. And there's also no trick tailgate either, although it is a damp tailgate so that when you release it, it is going to lower slowly. And there are some features in the bed to make things easier. There's an outlet in the bed, there's tie down hooks, there's places where you can insert wood so that you can hold things in place. And it is a composite bed as opposed to a spray-on type bed liner. So overall, it is a pretty large size bed, and this is a very practical truck. And one thing that is really unique that you don't see on any other pickup trucks is the rear window, which can completely slide down or slide to the side like you would see on other pickup trucks. But on the higher trim levels, you get a full piece of glass, completely slides down, giving you a lot of space to load long objects through the bed, which is pretty cool. Now, in terms of other available hardware, it really depends on which trim level you go with. The Tundra is going to continue with more or less the same trim levels that we saw on the previous generation Tundra. That means the lower end trucks are going to be the SR5 model, TRD Off-Road, TRD Sport, and then if you go into the higher trim levels, you get into the more limited and the TRD Pro versions. Now, all of these trucks are going to be very off-road capable, but if you go for the TRD Pro, you're going to get a lot more off-road equipment like heavy-duty Fox shocks, performance stabilizer bars, better tires, off-road tires, more ground clearance. So all of these things are going to come as part of the TRD Pro package. But of course, you are still going to get really good off-road capability with the lower end TRD models as well. There's also a lot of great features when it comes to the interior tech as well. Tons of space inside of here. I'm sitting inside the TRD Pro and I have lots of room around me, both in the front seats. The back seats have a ton of room too. And there's lots of great tech in here. All of the build quality is fantastic, excellent materials. And we have this really large touchscreen infotainment system, which is completely new, never shared with any other Toyota model. It's a 14-inch display on the higher trim levels, and on the lower trim levels, you get a more standard 8-inch display, similar to what you'd find on other Toyotas. Now, in addition to the touchscreen infotainment system, we also have digital displays behind the steering wheel. You can get a smaller display with a regular analog tachometer, or you can get a full 12.3-inch digital display that's fully customizable on the higher trims that do pair with the 14-inch touchscreen. Now, I haven't had a chance to fully explore all of the features of the digital display or the large touchscreen because, like I said, these are pre-production models. Not everything in here is fully functional, but I did play around with it a little bit. It seems to be very user-friendly in terms of its menu layout. It looks straightforward, and what I could play with, it was very responsive to touch inputs. It's going to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it seems to be a good touchscreen, although I'll have to test it in full when I get a chance to drive one of these trucks out on the road. The other thing that's been upgraded in terms of the interior technology is all of the active safety equipment that you get with the Tundra 2. The previous generation Tundra had the pretty basic Toyota Safety Sense, but with this new Tundra, you get Toyota Safety Sense 2.5, which adds a lot of features, not just automatic emergency braking, but also lane departure assist, blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control. All of that comes part of the Tundra package now. Things that haven't been released about the new Tundra: fuel economy and pricing. Although we're told that the pricing is going to be very similar to the previous generation truck, it obviously remains to be seen exactly how they price it. One thing's for sure, if you want the hybrid version, which seems to be the one to go for if you want maximum performance and capability, you are going to have to go for the higher trim levels. The hybrid is intended to be the more premium option, most likely going to be available on the Limited and the TRD Pro. That leaves the base twin turbo V6 for the lower trim levels like the TRD Sport, TRD Off-Road, and the SR5 models. So where does that leave this truck in terms of pricing? Not fully announced, but you're probably looking in the mid $40,000 range up into the $60,000 range, depending on which configuration you go with. I'm pretty impressed by what I see with this new Tundra. Toyota seems to have done a phenomenal job with this redesign. The big question mark, of course, is it going to live up to Toyota's reputation for legendary reliability and build quality? The previous generation Tundras were famous for their ability to go major distance and mileage without having any serious issues. You could rack up hundreds of thousands of miles on a Tundra and not have any problems with it. And that's really what brought a lot of buyers over from other brands like Ford and GM and Ram. People buy Tundras and hold on to them for a very long time because it's a truck that you can depend on. Is that going to be the case with this new Tundra now that it has more tech, a twin turbo V6 engine, a hybrid, a 10-speed automatic transmission? Well, it remains to be seen. I have faith in Toyota because the company has that reputation. They seem to be very good when it comes to torture testing and quality control of their vehicles. And Toyota's assuring us that this Tundra is going to be no different than the previous generation ones when it comes to its reliability. So remains to be seen, but I think if you're in the market for a pickup truck and your priority is reliability and longevity, the Tundra is still probably the truck to go with. I can't wait to get this truck out on the road to see how it performs in the real world. But in the meantime, I hope that was a helpful walk around tour. So let me know what you think of the all new 2022 Toyota Tundra. Would you buy it over other domestic pickup trucks? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can check out some of my other videos by taking a look at these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you need additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.